Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Akunna, a Nigerian living and studying in Japan. So on this channel, I discuss my life experiences in Japan, my journey so far, study opportunities both here in Japan and outside Japan. So today, guys, I'm taking you all the way to the United Kingdom, like to the land of the Queen. Oh, God rest her soul. So we'll hear about study opportunities in England, how to get admission in England, how to move to England as a student, and probably with your family. So today, I have someone who is living and studying in England to take us on this journey. So Stephanie, please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Udejofor. I am a student here in the United Kingdom, particularly based in Scotland, actually. And I currently just finished my thesis statement in the university and I'm still doing a part-time work. So
Oh,
it's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
thank you so much. Thank you once again. So I want you to walk us through the admission process, like from start to finish. How did you end up in Scotland?
The admission process.
With the way you exhale, that means it's a long story.
I actually started this search in back then in 2019.
Okay.
For me, it was the plan. After we finish school, you have plans, you want to work, you want to do this. I finished with an HND, first of all, back in Nigeria. So my plan or the family plan was okay, you finish your HND, and we all know the disparity with the HND BSc dichotomy. I wanted something higher that could help me flush out that HND. So I looked for a master's opportunity.
Mm,
But when we all want I was looking for scholarships.
exactly.
So I started my journey precisely I think 2019 January after my birthday, and I started looking for schools. So I have this booklet. Unfortunately, I forgot it back home in Nigeria, where I went online and I will search schools in the UK, and I will put down all the names of the schools, and I will say schools that offer scholarship, and I will tick the ones that offer the scholarships. Then I start going to their websites, their individual websites.
Mm,
I then figured out that there were lots of courses. So it brought me back to the idea of, okay, what's the course I want to study? Then I went online and searched for how to gain admission into UK. And I noticed that, just in Nigeria, you have different schools, it's numerous. But
yes.
the thing is, you have to find something that fits into your own curriculum. So I chose my course based on what I wanted. Then I now went to schools that are good in this course. Do you
Yes.
understand? So it
Mm.
was more like trying to streamline down to good
Narrowing
school.
it down. Yeah.
Narrowing it down. And then what I did next will shock you. I started sending messages to all the schools one by one. I think I had nothing less than 40 emails to these
Wow.
different schools. I was just sending emails. I was looking for scholarship. So what I did, because most of them were telling me that I needed to take the BSc, I needed to have a BSc, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, I know that even with HND, because thanks to God, I came up with a good grade in my HND. So I was like, I should be able to get
Mm.
admission straight up. So I started sending them a mail, attaching my credentials,
Mm.
results, my work, everything. So some of them came back to me saying, "Oh, we can't offer you a straight admission, but we can offer you a postgraduate, a postmasters. That's what they call it."
Oh,
I never knew there was something called postmasters at that time.
masters or pre-masters.
Pre-masters,
Oh,
sorry,
pre-masters.
pre-masters. Let me say pre-masters. I
Yeah.
never knew there was something called pre-masters at that time. So I was
Wow.
like, pre-masters. About five schools told me that my grade was okay. But the difference was because I did engineering in my first degree and I
Mhm.
was trying to transition into IT. So another school told me that because I'm trying to transition, I need to do a pre-masters. Some other schools actually told me if I was doing the same line of course, they could
Mm.
give me admission. So I'll cut the whole long story short.
Okay.
I looked at, okay, I didn't want to go back to engineering. Not like I didn't like it. I just wanted to dive into the IT sector. And then I decided I would go for the pre-master's degree, even though I would say it's expensive. It's like half of the fees of a full-time tuition, and it's just about 10 weeks. So I decided to pick a school that was cheaper because unfortunately I couldn't get scholarship for that pre-masters.
Mm.
I decided to go for a school that was cheaper, And then another thing that kind of influenced my decision was, I'll give an example. When you come to schools, you have private universities, you
Mm.
have universities that could be opened by individuals that might not necessarily be recognized. So I
Yes.
had to go to this QS World Ranking to check the schools.
Wow. Yeah, their ratings.
This school is actually there. Then when I did that, I then narrowed it to my own school. So the thing with my school that I picked was that it was relatively affordable at that point for that. And they gave me a discount. Actually, that discount cuts across many schools in the UK,
Okay.
full-time tuition fee.
Mm.
So I decided to go for them. I did my pre-masters 10 weeks. I started my pre-masters in Nigeria before coming. So I was almost done with my pre-masters.
Mm.
Then and that was it. I didn't take any agents, no agents involved. All these things were by myself because all I needed to do, like I said, send my credentials. They vetted it. Okay, this is okay. This is okay. Now the good thing with the UK is the TOEFL and IELTS.
Mm.
They didn't really need it, but once they saw my WAEC and my English, I was fine with it, and they just offered me admission straight up. So I paid the fees and got my visas.
Ah, that's really interesting. I think one thing I took out of all this is you were very intentional. You did your research yourself and you are tenacious about it because I'm sure you must have gotten several rejections, like you already mentioned. My dear, people think it's as easy as it sounds, but I mean, we just have to keep trying, keep up the faith, and keep pushing. One day it virtually clicks. I'm really, really happy it worked out for you. The next question will be about funding and scholarships. I know you mentioned you didn't do your pre-masters with a scholarship, but now you have graduated from masters rather, right? Yes. So did you
Yeah.
use scholarship for the masters?
No, I couldn't. Now, this is the reason why I could not. Most of the masters and scholarships that you get, they
Mm.
want you to get admission directly. That
Okay.
was what I found out. So because I was getting a pre-masters, it wasn't really viable because I had to start from the pre-masters. So some of them would always require that you get an admission letter from the school
Mm.
stating that you want to carry out your masters. So my admission letter at that point stated that I was going to do a pre-masters and a masters. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So for the scholarship own, it's that one it's a big one because the truth is there are scholarships online. Some of them have conditions, like they are conditional, quite all right. You have to
You
come
money.
back after you
Yeah.
after you're done with the whole thing. But others, I don't think I saw anyone that was not conditional, to be honest. Everything had conditions,
Mm.
but some had half the fees, take part of the fees taken away, some had full of the fees taken away.
Yeah.
So for that aspect, I actually checked. I will just go online and say scholarships in UK.
Mm.
But I must tell you something, it's not easy finding the scholarships. I found out there are scholarships that are hidden.
Yes.
You have to actually dig deeper
Yes.
to
Yes.
see the scholarships.
Totally agree with you
It
regards.
was when I got here that
So your
I
eyes
found
open.
that there are scholarships that are deeper. And that's why sometimes those agents come in.
Mm.
Because I remember then when I wanted to get an agent, the only reason I think I needed an agent was I asked agents, will you be able to get me a scholarship? If you can get me a scholarship, I will go with you. But in terms of the other admission process, I honestly didn't see any reason
Yeah.
for the agents. The how do they say those letter you write to tell the school
Motivational
why you want to
letter.
do it?
Yes.
It's not hard to write, it's just a very easy thing. But for me, the scholarship part was the most important part. So if that agent is ready to tell me, okay, I will give you a scholarship, I got one then. That the period of getting this scholarship thing, I even decided to explore Canada safe just to see if I can get the scholarship because I was really, really particular. We all know that UK universities are not cheap.
I mean, pounds are not cheap either.
And
The conversion rate now is
at all, they are not cheap. So I was badly looking for the scholarship. So, but most of them just kept, twisting and turning. And the funny thing, they all kept holding on to my HND and saying, oh, it's not going to be easy with your HND and everything. But the Chevening is actually very good. I'm sure most people must have heard of Chevening scholarship. It's a very, very good. It's tough, but it's a good scholarship because it takes off everything fully funded and you're even given a stipend.
mm,
And there are some websites I don't have at the back of my head,
mm,
but the idea is type on how to get UK scholarships, but you have to be intentional and just prepare that it's going to be time consuming
Yes.
because it's not going to be a scratch on the surface kind of thing. You can't just see it. You have to dig deeper. Then another thing I noticed is if you find the school, go to the school's financing section,
Mm.
international financing sections. Sometimes these scholarships are also mentioned there. Some scholarships that you would not see on those websites are actually mentioned there. So you can see, you can actually apply. I'll give you another example. When I got here, I
Mm.
found out that I could have applied for an NTPF, this Nigerian Petroleum
Oh,
Fund.
PPF.
It
Oh,
was not online. Online, it kept telling me it was closed. It kept saying it was closed on the website. But later on, when I got here, halfway into section, someone was like, ah, Steph, did you even check this? I was like, how? Then I went to my school's website and I actually found out that it was open at that point, but it was already late for me. So it was open at that point. If I applied for that, maybe I'm not so sure, but maybe I might have been eligible for that, even if it's taking off some aspects of the money away from the whole tuition fee. But like I said, having websites to check for the scholarship is important. If you find a particular school, check their financing sections. There are always scholarships to like tell students, especially international students, if
mm.
they are liable for those things. That one is really, really, really important. So getting the for me, the streamline is get the course, get the school. From the school, go to the school's financing,
Mm.
check if you can see scholarships there, apply for as much as you can, because you might be lucky. It's
Yeah.
not really one based.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. So, guys, you've heard it. Be very intentional about this. Go to the school's financial section. Like you mentioned, I didn't know about the school financial section websites also before I came to Japan. But on arrival in Japan, I realized there are so many benefits. Even if it's not the full tuition, you get maybe 20% off, 30% off, various deductions here and there. And at the end of the day, it's worthwhile in most cases. So if you're interested in this Chevening PTDF, you better stay tuned because before the video ends, I'm still going to upload some scholarships that I found that are for people who want to study in the UK. And then I have a PTDF scholarship video coming up maybe in a few weeks' time. So stay tuned so you don't miss out on any information. So the next question is the commonly required documents. I know the basics like your certificate, your transcripts, but are there other commonly required documents that you know of that people should get before they make this application?
Um, First of all, I would say that all those documents needs to be aligned. Like everything needs to be the same thing. Your name, not even a spelling should be wrong because a spelling wrong can actually lead to a denial of visa.
Mm,
Fortunately for me, while I was applying for it, my school had a very good incoming student relationship where
mm,
because I wasn't using an agent, so normally agents do all these things for you, they just take off the stress for you. But then I think the documents, birth certificate, WAEC, it's very important. They'll ask for WAEC scratch card. So you have to get WAEC scratch card and send
exactly.
it to them.
That's
So that they verify, yeah, so they verify your English language. They would ask for transcript. For me, I will not lie to you. I didn't send my transcript from school. So my school's website then, my first degree website, I had the results. So I just printed out the whole results. But there
wow.
are barcode scans where you can check for it. So I sent it to them. But peradventure they wanted a formal transcript from the school, then you
Mm,
can apply for it. But
yeah,
for the sake of giving you the admission, they just want to see your results and see if
yeah,
it's verifiable. What else? Then for some things that have mistakes, you must do an affidavit
mm,
back up any of it. Like my WIEC had a discrepancy in age, just 1 year. I had to go do a sworn affidavit for that one. My letter of my name on my birth certificate, he was missing. He wasn't missing. It's very funny. It's funny, but you can imagine how frustrated I am when the school officer will like come. Hi, Stephanie. I'm like, it's just E now. What is the difference? Stephanie is still the same. He said, no, I need to go and do an affidavit. I think I did several affidavits. I think I must have had all of them here. Then another thing that they might ask for, look, for the admission process, basically, just to give you the admission,
mm,
those are the basic requirements. So your results, transcript, possibly birth certificate. But for applying for visa, it's a whole. different ballgame. They'll ask for some series of documentation, maybe where you will stay, proof of address. But that one, the school, if the school has accommodation, it can actually help you out. But if you have your own accommodation, you can just get a letter just to prove you're going to stay there where you are.
Okay. So if I understood you correctly, since you mentioned a couple of times that they checked your English, that means you didn't require to write the IELTS or the TOEFL.
Oh, not at all. That's what I'm saying. I didn't. I thought I was going to. In fact, I think I had even started looking for West. Yes, I started preparing for West already, thinking that I was going to write this IET or something. But then when I asked them, they said, do you have like a West African WAEC?
Hmm.
The very I said, yes, I do have a WAEC. And I think they asked how many years. Did they ask? I'm not so sure they asked how many years it was. All they needed to do was a scratch card. So they didn't I sent them the WAEC result quite all right. But they said no, they didn't want that. They wanted the scratch card so that they could check
On
by
the
themselves, it is actually verifiable. So that was it. I even got a was it not C in my English. So that was fine.
hmm.
So fast, especially for
English
Nigeria,
countries,
an
yeah.
English speaking country, yes. An English speaking country, you really don't need it for the UK. But maybe a non-native English speaking, maybe you might need extra IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. So my next question is money talks. What is the number of hours required to work as a student? Because I mean, in all these talks, we need to pay bills. So what
Yeah.
exactly is the student, the number of hours the student is supposed to work and earn per time
20 hours. That's the maximum per week.
per week? Oh, okay, okay.
On term time, like when you're in
Oh,
school,
yes, yes, full
it's
session.
about
Okay.
20 hours. But when you're not in school, you can actually do more. But for
Mm,
the UK, it has a maximum of 48 hours per week for
okay.
everybody,
Mm,
maximum of 48 hours. But students, when I came here, that worked in me. Some people, well, I will not lie, let me be sincere. It's actually area specific.
okay.
Area specific because I know some areas that my friends got jobs like very fast. And it depends on the kind of job
You're looking for.
you're
Mm,
looking for. If you want to do care, yapa, it's plenty.
everywhere.
Well, I didn't want to do care. That's
Mm,
the truth. I didn't want to do care. But the care job is readily available. Like I think right now it's a very, very fast
yeah.
paying job.
Demand.
It's
Mm,
fast. I'm not going, it's in high demand, like seriously. And the funny thing, there are actually advantages to that care job. I'll go back to that advantages. But for
okay.
now, the jobs are just in there are different websites in the UK you can just register for to look for jobs. So I started off first of all doing telemarketing here. So I worked from home while studying
Mm,
because I wanted to dedicate more time to my studies. And he actually paid still fair amount. It was like about 9.6 per hour, 9.6 pounds per hour. Then I was able to do that for maybe 16 hours per week. I didn't want to exceed the 20
yeah.
hours. Now that 20 hours is registered amount of time to work. Give or take, there are some jobs you can do that it's not really registered in the system. It's extra for you. He's just a tip. He's not. I'm not advising anyone to do it, too. But it's just a tip. Sometimes you get like I'll give you an example. Somebody just calls you, I want you to babysit my home. They're not going to register
Yeah.
that one.
Yes.
And you just
Yes.
get extra hours. But for the care is I don't think that the care has more once you're in care, you have more time. It's
Oh,
not to 20 again. I think maybe 24, if I'm not mistaken. And that care too, they give you back your health surcharge. There's something you pay health surcharge here.
okay.
You're trying to get that's part of the documents you will need for your visa application.
Mm,
You would have to pay your health surcharge, IHS. So
okay.
that IHS is actually just for like insurance, health insurance. It's very, very good because when you come down to the UK, you can get to the hospital without paying anything, can get drugs without doing anything. I'm not like going to lie, I'm a very good receptor of that IHS, very well here. And so when you join care and I think you stay for like 6 months, they pay you back that IHS and it's over £1,000.
Oh,
They give it back to you. Then
mm,
if you continue working in care, this is just an extra tip that I found out. If you continue working in care, after about I think more than 6, 7 months, you can actually qualify for a tier two visa.
Oh, I
You
see.
can qualify for a tier two visa. But with every good thing comes
The
something.
downside, yeah.
Because with the tier two visa too, you will have to like sign some documentation, stay in that care for a particular amount of time. So if you're ready to like face that, then all well and good.
Okay. So I would like to stick on this tier two visa. The tier two visa entails what? Like, does it equal permanent residency, or does it, how many years is
Mm,
it? And
No,
all that.
tier two visa, no, it's not permanent residency yet.
Okay.
It's so the thing is when you finish school, you get postgraduate visa. Postgraduate visa allows you to stay in the UK for 2 years, maximum number of 2 years
Yeah.
after studies. Now,
Mhm.
this tier two visa could give you as much as 5 years, and
Oh,
tier two visa counts towards your permanent residency because when you stay under a tier two visa for 5 years, you are eligible for permanent residency.
mm,
So let's say I get a tier two visa now. My year starts counting now, and
yeah.
I stay 5 years. Once I get 5 years, I can apply for a permanent residency.
I see.
But for a postgraduate visa, it doesn't count towards permanent residency. So even if I stay on a postgraduate student visa for 2 years, I still have to get a tier two again to be able to start counting. So
Oh,
that's why I said the tier two actually counts because already you don't have to stay 2 years for postgraduate. You just start counting the 5 years immediately. And then in 5 years' time, you're good to stay.
oh, I see. So I think it equates to maybe a work visa, a 5-year work visa or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's then I like that you mentioned the health insurance. I mean,
Yeah.
UK keeps singing the praise of NHS every day. You wake up, NHS, NHS, NHS. So I think yeah, Medicare is very as in it's I think it's very good in the
Yeah.
UK. What other government subsidized programs are available in the UK or probably in Scotland where you are?
Okay, so for the subsidized programs, aside the NHS and health surcharge and everything, for Scotland, I know that as a student, you have some certain discounts on a lot of things.
Okay.
Like enter the buses, you
Mm,
have you go on students fees, like almost, I won't say almost free, but like basically half the price of an adult
mm,
averagely. But I'm not sure that happens in London. I'm not so sure. I don't know. But
okay.
for other train things, most times once you're a student and you have the student ID card, basically, many things are at a discount for you. So, and then for parents or for
Mm,
people who have children,
okay.
for Scotland, I know a friend that once your kid is above or I think 4 or 5 years, education is free.
Wow, that's very
So
interesting.
even if you're an immigrant, they tend to pay for your children's school fees. I'm not so sure. I think four, I'm not so sure of the age range, but
Mm,
there's certain age that your kid is, and you don't need to pay because they will look at your income.
mm,
They will vet your income and see are you capable of paying this. If you're not, they tend to just help out.
take care of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very good. I mean, everybody wants a reduction in expense. But it's very important.
The health surcharge you actually will pay for that one. Just that the payment you make goes for the number of times you're here up until when your student visa expires.
Yes,
Because
so
when you're going to pay for your postgraduate visa, you're actually going to pay a new health surcharge for the number of years you're staying. So it actually varies on the visa.
oh, okay, I see. Then still on visa talks, when people say UK, people think London, but I know UK is
It's
England, Northern
yeah,
Ireland, Scotland,
yeah,
and Wales. I
yeah,
think 4 countries. So
yeah.
what I want to know is when you're issued a visa to study in England, is this a
Mm.
visa for the whole United Kingdom? I
You
mean,
actually issued a visa for Scotland or Wales or no, you're issued a student visa in the UK. So
okay,
you can go anywhere.
so that's good. And is it
Anywhere.
similar to the Schengen visa where you can travel around Europe?
Is it similar to that? Well, the truth is once you're within the UK region, right?
Mm,
You really don't need your passport to move around. So
around,
once you get here, the funny thing is the visa actually expires, or how do I put it? You know when you stamp it on your passport, it expires about 20 days. When
Yes,
you
yes, yes. We have to move into the country
you
before
have to move into the country before
that.
that
Yes,
20 days. They give you they call it a residence permit, a biometric residence permit. So this
yes,
biometric residence permit is what you actually can use for ID card. And it
yes.
doesn't really state England or Scotland, it just states United Kingdom. So you can actually go anywhere within the United Kingdom with that thing. So it's not basically Scotland or Wales. But yes, people actually think when you say UK, it's just London. I actually used to think the same thing too before. But
I,
no, it's not.
that's a very confusing thing. It's like when I hear Britain too, I don't know whether Britain is the England or a group of countries as well. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So the next question is cost of living. I know there is no blanket amount for everybody. It depends on how prudent you are and all that. But what is the average cost of living in some cities and which cities are cheaper than the other? I mean, the only place I know in Scotland could be Edinburgh. Maybe Edinburgh is maybe a big city.
How do I put it? I'm going to liken it to Nigeria.
Okay.
Oh, I'll try not to do so much. Okay.
Okay.
So it's like London is like Lagos.
Hmm.
It's busy, expensive.
Okay.
It's quite expensive to stay. But you can go to other places. I'll give you, for instance, Aberdeen is relatively it's not a very big city, so to say. It's like a small place, a small town. So in those kind of places, cost of living is actually cheaper. For instance, you can get a two bed. I'm going to start with a two bed. A two bed for about 400 in
Okay.
Aberdeen, but in
Um,
London, it's me per month, £400 per month. But in Aberdeen, in London rather, you can get a two-bedroom for about 1,000 something per
hmm.
month. The same thing. The standard might not, the Aberdeen one might be even greater. But for a student, they usually have student dormitories. It depends on what you're actually looking for. There are accommodations where you can have everyone sitting together on a flat. Maybe everybody will have their rooms with their own personal toilets,
Hmm.
but they share kitchen and maybe a central living room. And those accommodation in Aberdeen cost about, you can see it roughly to about 350 to 450 per month, 450 pounds per month. Yes. But I know that London is actually much higher than that. It's
Yeah.
much higher than that. But I will not lie also. Let me be factual. As much as it's much higher than that, the part-time jobs you get in London pays higher than the part-time jobs you also get in Aberdeen. So depending on the place you are, the job actually goes higher with the
It's
amount of living. So it's like directly
commensurate.
proportional. Yes, directly proportional kind of thing.
Okay.
But I would say England, not everywhere in England. I know London is actually expensive, but there are so other small parts in England that are not so expensive. When you come to Scotland, I know Aberdeen is not so expensive either. Edinburgh is fairly expensive, but
Okay.
you know the part-time jobs too are
Mm.
actually it commensurates what you pay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you so much. So let's talk about helpful tips and advice I can give someone who is a prospective applicant looking to study in the UK. What what are those mistakes that people should not make or those that you made and you want people to learn from so that they don't fall into the same problems or issues?
Okay, so there are mistakes. The mistakes I think I made was first of all, I always tell someone that calls me, Pastor Stephanie, I want to come to the UK. The first thing I tell them is make sure you are the one in charge of your learning. You know, different people have different reasons why they want to come here. So people come here to study, some people it's for the JAPA plan.
Yeah.
We all know that. I'll give examples is I've met several people down here that an agent did everything for them, down to picking the courses. Now, see where the bad thing is if you don't progress in your course, you can't get a post-study visa.
Yes.
So it's better you pick something you can easily just go past because the school has to give you a letter before you get that post-study visa. I know some people that are struggling. Imagine someone coming from maybe something like law to IT. And
Mm,
then he or she says, no, that's not what I wanted to study. That's not what I wanted to do. But the agent picked it for me. And then now the school gives you a limited amount of time to try. If you
yeah.
can't try, they deport you. So the whole reasons for you coming, it's not visible. So what I always say is get the course right. Be sure that's what you want to do. Then get the school right. When I also came here, I will not lie to you, I found that there were more cheaper schools than even the school I thought. There are more cheaper schools than it. So get the school right to make like I even think maybe I didn't put enough like I should have, or maybe I was just trying to limit myself. But get the school right. It would help. I found out that there was a school here that could have taken me directly because I got in touch with a friend and he said, Steph, can I see your results in your HND? And I gave it to him. He said, my school could have taken you directly. You didn't need to do pre-masters because this pre-masters, it's not a small money either. And I made that mistake. I
Mm.
didn't ask questions. Probably videos like this would have helped. I didn't do that because I'm pretty sure I could have found videos like this. So get the school right. If you get the school right, try to see if you can get some admission, some pounds off your school fees.
Mm.
For many schools I know, would always give a discount if you're a self-funded student. So for instance, you're the one paying for yourself. They will tell you, don't worry, just give maybe 2,000 or 3,000 pounds off. They always give that. If you don't see a school that gives that, we'll look for another school. there are always schools.
Yes.
There are always schools that give self-funded students paying off.
Mm.
Then another mistake that I would say is learn a skill before you come to the UK. It's very important.
Like guys, this is very
Very, very, very important because aside you doing the part-time jobs that has the limitations of 20 hours, you can actually use those skills to get extra cash. I know someone here that does agree makeup. I know how many pets she could collect as much as 50 pounds per person. She
wow.
doesn't take up to 1 hour. So that's a lot of money to make as a student. Do you get? So
Yeah.
you learn a skill. It could even be hairdressing. People pay for
I
those things.
I make my hair myself. It's very expensive. I make my hair
Right.
myself.
It, it is when I came here that I said, oh, I'm not going to do my hair anyway. I started using this thing to
Weeks.
make my own hair because it's expensive to make hair here. But some people actually like the luxury of people doing their hair. So you can actually learn those skills. All this very handy works.
Yeah.
Then especially for the UK, maybe this is to technical people. If you have technical skills and you're able to find yourself here, it actually helps because they're looking for technical people. I
Mm.
will give you an instance. While I was in school, that was a mistake I made. While I was in school, I was trying to apply for a placement. Then now we're looking at no, want to enter IT, want to enter IT, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had a company that wanted to take me with my technical skills. It was a big company. I'm not going to mention names. It was a big company. They said, Stephanie, we saw you're in engineering. We like your technical skills. I don't even know what got into my head and say, I would prefer I did IT. I told somebody, I was like, why the hell would you say that? I honestly do not know why I said that. I don't know what came into my head that moment. I could have started off with that. But I
Mm.
must tell you that I've noticed most companies that I've been to, they just look and say, I like your technical skills. So technical skills is actually important. This goes to maybe engineering people. If you have technical skills, perfect, game's on. But even if you're not an engineering person, right, have some sort of experience behind you. It's going to help. It's really, really going to help. Then if you want to venture into care, another tips and tricks is from back home, look for a care place you can do, even if it's 3 months, 1 month, even if it's 2 months,
Experience.
no
Yeah.
matter what, just get the experience. Because when you put it on your CV, nowadays they want to ask for a reference. Have you done this before? Certain people can frame up and say they've done it, but they will know whether you've done it or not. So if you've done it, all well and good, they give it to you straight up. So
Mm.
see if you really want to go into the social care part, that's very good. Just have the experience, no matter what, just prepare yourself. Then come with plenty food stuff. So
Food is expensive. I mean, I think you're even luckier than I am because at least you're closer to home. I mean, these guys are literally slaughtering us here with prices.
Eh, hmm. Man,
Very affordable
you.
stuff.
I'm not a business oriented person. I've
Mm.
never been somebody that is into business. But you can imagine I've seen a lot of business opportunities here. I have I have literally picked a lot of business opportunities. I said, God, just give me money and I'm going to start some things. There are
Capital.
lots of business opportunities. Leave, drop the clothes, plenty food stuff. Most food stuff are expensive. And imagine tomorrow again, I'm calling you like 50 pounds. What small thing like this? Give me. What's
I
that?
know that's it. Oh my God. I would have put this at Ojota at this
I
amount.
must tell you, when I came here, I will not lie to you. It took my friends like, Stephanie, stop converting this thing. I want to get a soda, right? And I'll see soda for like
Hmm.
£5.50. I say £5.50. I check calculator. You know how
So
Nigerian
broke.
currency. Me buy Coke
For 25.
for
Is it
4 5.
wine? Is it wine?
For what? Say
I know.
no, I'm not going to buy that.
It
But
takes a lot of time to get used to that conversion,
yeah,
right? It
it
takes a lot of
did.
time.
When you start earning money, you actually
But
find out that
it does that, yes. Yeah,
it's
it's
actually it's not, it's small money. So now you're like, okay, let's just buy it. When you first come in, no, I think it took me about 6 months to get used to that thing. I'll still convert it in my head. But basically, those skill sets, it's very, very, very important. Honestly, it's really, really important because they are going to help you when you come here, even if it's just by doing small, small things. You can get extra cash by the side, able to make up things.
mm,
Yeah, so that's it.
very good. Sorry to draw you back, but the truth is that most people have always asked me about schools that accept HND students because they've searched mostly and maybe the opportunities are limited. So I just want to maybe based on your experience, I'm trying to put you on the spot. Can you give me maybe a list of few schools, maybe 4 or 5 schools that you know accept HND students, including yours?
Wait, the question is, do you want the one that do pre-masters? Or
Maybe those that accept directly first, then those that do for masters next. Yes.
there's one school I can tell you guys that it's the amount of fees is actually equal for both international and local. Is University of Hull. That's HULL.
Yes,
You can
yes,
check
yes.
it, University of Hull. They do accept HND directly. That was the one that do accept HND directly. Um, Robert Gordon University accepts HND, but you do pre-masters.
Okay.
That's where I actually school. You do pre-masters for that. And but like I said, most of these pre-masters, some of them can be very, very expensive. Overly, it can be even equal to the amount of what you pay for the masters. But Robert Gordon is like half the price.
Mm,
It's half the price because they give you a discount at the master's degree university, the master's degree part.
mm,
But some other schools that I might not be well known
mm.
do take it. I would try get that for you.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome. You're welcome.
So guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video to as much people as you can. I'll leave the list of scholarships that are ongoing on the screen so you can check them out, apply. The earlier you apply, the better for you. I mean, some of them are based on first come, first serve basis. So just
Mhm.
try as much as you can to apply. And this is not a spoiler, but if you're looking to study in the UK, I mean, it's today or not, because now they are looking at doing some changes to their immigration policies.
Yes.
Due to the heavy number of dependents in the UK, which are more than the students themselves. So
Oh my God,
if
that's
you don't want
crazy.
next year to pass you by, you just really have to apply. I mean, immigration policies take time to change, but the earlier the better if you don't want to lose out on this opportunity or you start searching for other countries. I mean, there are lots of other countries there actually. So guys, thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
All right.
Welcome.
Bye.